We've already done a review on the little brother on the left. Now it's time for us to look at the biggest cargo bike that Velotric offers. This thing is long and it hauls.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
Heidi and I had done reviews on Velotric's Nomad 1 and Discover 1, basically a beach cruiser and kind of a city commuter. We love those bikes, and to this date we have never had a pair of bikes that have gotten more praise by the way they look than those two bikes that we did in the past. And it's because the company has an attention to detail and some designing crews that are working on this stuff that really know what they're doing. This is something that only someone that does as many reviews as we have would pick up on, and that's the boxing, the packaging, and the delivery of the product, even when it's an initial release. Usually whenever we get a bike in and it's something that it's a new release and they're wanting us to talk about it, or they're wanting us to go over it and review it and take a look at it. Every other company we've dealt with, it's just been a plain box. Some of them have just had packaging thrown inside of it, foam packaging. It's just, you know, you could tell it's not made for the bike. It's something that's just left over. But the packaging, you can see here, and we'll show it on the other box a little bit more clear. It shows details of how you're to take it apart. Like in this case, there's supposed to be some corner pieces that are here that are currently missing, at least from the sides, but you could see them on the bottom. And they're also showing then how to open the box. And I mean, all these instructions are on a box, on a product that just got released. It's not like they threw it together and said, oh, hey, just throw it in a box and let's get it out there. We'll worry about that at some other time. No, they put it together because they want to make sure that they have all their ducks in a row, even right off the get-go, right at the beginning. And again, we're looking at both of these boxes as this intro is going to be kind of thrown onto both videos. So if you haven't seen one or the other, we've got the Go and the Packer. Whichever one you're watching right now, go check out the other one if you want to see that one also. So that carries down even to something as simple as the accessories. Rear basket. It talks about the product. It shows what color it is. It's labeled here. It's labeled here. Passenger footrest. This actually talks about the codes, the part numbers, everything like that. Passenger handrailed, balustrade. The seat pad for the Packer. They also make a seat pad for the Go. This one actually says Packer seat pad. Again, this is something we don't see with hardly any other companies out there. I mean, even their tape. I mean, it's their own branded tape. And the thing is, this doesn't translate into a higher cost. This translates into a competitive bike, something that actually has good product placement. It has good product support, and it's a good product. Yet they're not overcharging. That's one of the things that you got to come away with on this, is these bikes are in line with all those other ones that don't do all this extra. So the Packer 1, new release, biggest cargo bike they've got. Velotric is on the ball. Whenever this company comes out with something new, they don't throw another bike on the market just to have another bike on the market. Now, we already did a review on the Velotric Go 1, the small cargo bike. This is the Packer 1. This is the big cargo bike. Whenever you're shopping, if you're actually going out there doing deliveries, a pizza delivery, whatever it may be, Instacart, take a look at this company. But you don't even know what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like. You know why? It's a brand new release. So let's open this thing up, take a look at the packaging, take a look at the contents, put it together, and then we're going to run this around the block a few times, get an idea of what we can do with it. Before we even open it up, though, I want to make sure that this is something that you want. Fits riders 5'3" to 6'6". Weight 75 pounds. Now, if you need something a little bit lighter, they do make the smaller Go. That's 65 pounds. The drive system on this one, though, it's the Velo Power H75. It's Velotric's in-house branded hub motor. It has a 750 watt hub motor on the bike with a 1200 watt peak. 75 newton meters. That's a decent amount of torque. That's going to get you moving pretty good. The range on this, I always say this varies. 52 miles, that's pedal assist, or 45 miles, throttle only. And if you look here, like the Go 1, it has the Apple Find My. That's in case you're wanting to hunt it down. If you lost it, if somebody lost it for you, you know what I mean. Top speed on this is going to be 20 miles per hour. It's a class 2. You can unlock the speed. That'll give you 25 miles an hour. It does have throttle only or pedal assist. There is 5 levels of pedal assist. And as far as the brakes are concerned, not only are they hydraulic, they are 4-piston hydraulic. It's an alloy, a 6061 aluminum alloy frame, so they made it as light as they could, but you're gonna see this thing's still a beast. I've had beach cruisers, though, that have weighed a lot more than this, and this one can haul some weight. This is much better than what I'm used to. You see it actually tells you open here, open here. They had those straps on there holding the corner pieces. And once these pieces are out of here, these tabs are out of here, you're gonna see a way to unbox bikes that surpasses all the rest. That's for sure. Boom. All right, so this looks familiar if you guys have watched the Go 1 video. The packaging is very similar. Wow, this thing is huge. Man, this thing is really big. This is a long bike. I don't know how this comes out on camera, but it's definitely a long bike. Looks like most of the assembly is already taken care of course, the standard things. I'm sure it's going to be very similar to the Go 1. So we have the much bigger tire than the Go 1. That's going to make a difference. And fender that we need to install on the front, a display, and the handlebars. Of course, the bell and some the light, the headlight, small stuff like that. But man, this is nice. I like the way this looks. Well, I know I was going to show it to you completely assembled, which I still will, obviously. I wanted to point out a few things, though, that I haven't seen before. First of all, is this cargo container. It's got a lock on it. That's different. I'll have to see what that's about. Looks like some sort of a carrying case or storage also. I mean, this is a cargo bike. I pointed this out before. I wanted to talk about it again, though. I love that whenever they package their units, they transport the batteries in the bikes, but they don't allow the batteries to engage the bike. So there's no chance of that shorting out or having a drain, a slow drain or something like that. Now, what's the obvious part of all this? They've protected the frame. They've went ahead and they've taped over all the body work on this so that you don't have any chances of it being scratched. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that a company have gone that far to make sure that the finish isn't marred at all. So I wanted to point that out. Let's get this thing together. But before we do, let's go over here and look at the box. Let's build your sweet ride. There was a couple things I took off there. The through axle, that's on that platform that the front forks are connected to. And most people just discard them. They just throw them away whenever they unbox their electric bike. In this case, you don't want to do that. The bolt that's through there is what's going to hold on this wheel. So the and tire. So same CST, X CST is what this one shows here. And this is a 26 by 2.40, and it's got that same 180 size disc brake. Again, these are 4-piston calipers. They're really going to grab, and you need to. The back tire on this is the same as the Go one, and that's a 20 by 3. That's going to make a difference on how it rides, but more importantly, it's going to make a difference on how much weight it can handle. So it's kind of nice that They go with a little bit smaller to keep it a little bit more sturdy. The payload capacity on this, 176 pounds back here. Got sidetracked. I already saw this in the Go 1. I think they do a great job here. Look at that. You got a QR code, you scan it, shows you the assembly of your Packer 1, how to do it. Your manual and tools are in here. Of course, you're going to get a toolkit that's going to come with a wrench. You're going to get a couple of Allen keys, Allen wrenches. You get the quick start guide, which is what you're going to look through to get it together. And then when you want to do the Find My, again, that Apple iOS app that will allow you to find the bike in case somebody decides to borrow it without your consent, you can do that. Or let's say you have a delivery driver. Maybe you have some sort of a pizza shop and you buy a few of these for your pizza delivery guys. Well, you can find out where they're at. I'm sure they're not happy about that, but it makes you happy. And then you've got your owner's manual, which in this case covers the Go 1 and the Packer 1. It's more in depth. The quick start is what you want to go with to get it together though. You get some chrome vanadium Allen wrenches with socket ends on them. You get this large wrench that will help you with the pedals and with the bolt that's for the light. Your accessories, you're going to get your display and you're going to get your light. There's going to be a couple of reflectors in there, but more importantly, there's going to be the nut and the bolt that's required to mount the light. Your charger, which again on this one is just like the Go. This is a 3 amp charger and there is a mounter. I think that's really brilliant that they've done that, because I'll have to tell you that my battery chargers just lay in every direction possible. The nice thing about it is if you have a place that you can mount it and you are, for example, again, going with that whole theme that you might be a pizza shop owner, these bikes can come in, let's say you park them in the back of your shop and you have chargers already on the wall that you can just pull off the wall, stretch it out and plug it in directly to the battery while it's still on the bike, or you can pull the battery out. Maybe you have a charging station that your chargers are mounted on the wall and you just pull the battery out and you leave the bike somewhere else and pull the batteries over and put them on your charging station. I'm pointing over here like there's some kind of a workbench over there that there's not. But yeah, 3 amp charger that'll get this battery taken care of a little bit quicker. Again, the battery on this is a 14 amp hour battery. I think the nominal charge on the battery, I think the nominal number is a little bit different. Let's take a look here exactly what we've got. And this is subject to change as these are early release models. Yeah, this is a 14.4 amp hour nominal and it's rated at 13.8 amp hour. The voltage is 48 volts. And then your charger is a 54 volt charger, which that's what this can handle. Now, in this case, I want to make it clear that they don't advertise this as being LG cells. They have been in the past. I don't know if they are now, but because of safety concerns, you've got UL listed certified. That means Underwriters Laboratory has certified this for auto electronic shock and fire hazards. That's going to put your mind at ease because that's a lot of voltage. These things could do some damage if they're just thrown together. Underwriters Laboratory has inspected this and given the stamp of approval that these are safer than the ones that are not rated by Underwriters Laboratory. So finally then we have the pedals. You know, these are the standard pedals that you would get with most of the e-bikes. So this is what you're going to get. That's what it looks like out of the box. Here's the fender for the front, just a plastic fender, which is fine. I have no problem with that. They have a tendency to rattle less than the metal ones, but it's going to be fun to get this thing together and see what it looks like. Here it is in all its glory, all together, and it looks cool, don't it? It looks pretty darn cool. It has a chain guard. It has an idler pulley because the chain is so long, you know, going from this sprocket up front, that it does have an idler, which is very cool. Good thinking. This is the Shimano Altus, not the tourney. That means you get an 8-speed. On the Go, it's a 7-speed. On this one, though, it's an 8-speed. Of course, you unlock the speed the same way that you do on the other one. It's 20 miles per hour right out of the box for Class 2. Above that, unlocking the speed is with the power off. You hold the power and the plus button for 20, 30 seconds. And then whenever it pops up, it'll say kilometers per hour, 35, and you just keep on hitting the plus button till it stops, which in this case would be 40. And then you can power off, and at that point you'll get top speed that's available for this. There's accessories for this, which I touch on in a future video. You know, a large cargo rack. They make a seat. I'm sorry, not a cargo rack, a cargo basket. They also make a cargo basket for the front. They make foot pegs or running boards, however you want to say it. Again, a seat pad for a second rider. And then, you know, I haven't even looked into this. You lock the zippers with these to keep it from opening, which is kind of cool. I don't know if I'll need that, but it's nice to know it's there. I know this is really close if you pack this up. Oh, this is generous. Oh my. I know this isn't coming out on camera, but this, I mean, my fist is in here. There's a lot of room up in this area. There's a pocket there for smaller stuff. That's very cool. Again, I didn't expect that. I guess it's a dead area and they decided to fill it, which is perfect. This is definitely a cargo bike. A headlight, I wasn't sure about this, and you know, you mounted it down. You're supposed to point it down in this case when you mount it on the handlebars so it can swing and have enough movement. Got a bell, nice and loud. And the display is the brightest by far. This display, like I mentioned on the Go, if you guys haven't seen that video, very bright. I mean, it is just pure sunshine out right now. And I can read this. I mean, I can read it standing. Of course, I have my glasses on. And you can't see this with the wide angle lens, but I can see it says 0.2 miles. The light's on. I see that it's 4 bars out of the battery. It says 0.0 mile per hour. It says on number 5. And again, from this angle, I don't normally see that. I don't normally see that from bike manufacturers. Yeah, we're going to have to test this out. I like it. Well, we're going to go for a ride here. It's actually really quiet because it's a Sunday when we're out. You'll see the church here has got quite a few people. Heidi's on the Go 1, the Velotric Go 1. We did a review on that previously. It's basically the smaller cargo bike. And of course, I'm on the larger one. They both handle the same amount of weight. But obviously, with me being on that larger cargo bike, the Packer one that we're doing the review on, there's so much more room to do stuff, which you'll see a little bit later. My daughter and her son was riding with our son-in-law. He was the driver. And she was definitely not liking it just because I think she felt unsafe because of not being in control of the bike. Definitely feels more than fine when you're riding it, that's for sure. As you'll see, our grandson was on there and he loved it. So the difference in the two bikes, again, I've done a review on both of them, is power. And although we're talking about the Packer 1 right now, you know, it's a little bit heavier. It's 10 pounds heavier. But I'm also quite a bit heavier than Heidi. And I have a larger motor with more newton meters of torque. It's a 750 watt motor, which peaks out at 1200 watts. And it's got 75 newton meter of torque. Heidi's is only a 500 watt with 900 watt peak, but you can see she's pulling away from me. Her doing the pedaling action there, when you're at this kind of speed, there's really no input. She's just doing that basically for exercise. And what I mean input is actually the pedals are inputting power to the bike, but it's through the pedal assist function. It's no human power. It just gives you the ability to exercise a little bit more. And that's kind of what biking's supposed to be about, right? Top speed on these, again, both of them are 20, but I've unlocked them. And you can see mine reads 25. Heidi's only reads 22. And there's something I wanted you to take away from with the speedometers. Unless you really dial in the tire size, which you can do that through the P settings, I just don't recommend it. You could get in there and do some stuff you're not supposed to. But you can make it to where the speedometer's dead on. But, you know, honestly, it's close enough. It'll let you know. So we went ahead and switched here. We have Heidi on the Go One now filming me. And again, I want to reiterate how big I am. I'm 270 pounds and 6 foot tall. And the bike is more than comfortable. And of course, I'm not pedaling. At no point did I pedal, except maybe when I leave a traffic light, I may pedal to start off there. And in the configuration that you're seeing it here, it has the baluster, or balustrade. That's what it is, the balustrade, which is for children to ride in. A little bit later, you'll see our daughter climbed in there, which was just for fun. We actually have a single pad on the seat right now. You actually, if you're going to have riders back there pretty constantly, it's a good idea to get 2 pads. And then they make handlebars that bolt to the cargo rack in place of the configuration that we have there. And of course the running boards, which is really nice. The running boards do a really good job with allowing you to climb up and on, or up and over, and of course giving your rider somewhere to put their feet other than foot pegs. Now, again, going back to where Heidi's on the Go One, you can do the same thing with that. They make a seat pad for it, they make a handlebar for the rear, and they make foot pegs for it, so a person could ride in the back. It handles quite a bit of weight, 440 pounds. Each one of these bikes will handle 440 pounds total. Now, of course, with me being as heavy as I am, there's only so much weight I can put on the back. But still, the rear rack can handle 176 pounds. It's nice that they give you all that rack to be able to potentially have somebody sit back there and still have an area where you could put, you know, a little crate or something. But also, the Packer One, like I mentioned before, comes with a really big basket. You can do a large basket on the back, and you can do a basket on the front too. It's very versatile. I think that at some point in the future they might have pannier baskets that go off to the sides, but I tell you, the idea that you could use this for deliveries, like I said, Instacart, pizza deliveries, Uber Eats. That's a big thing I've seen out west. A lot of YouTube channels that do that kind of stuff. So, again, just showing you the ride here, what it's like. You know, as far as me riding it, it's very stable. It gets up and goes every time we come up and do one of these rolling stops at a stop sign. You'll see why, because it's kind of this area. Everybody kind of does a rolling stop. You'll see a vehicle enter from frame here on the right, and they have a stop sign, which basically means just kind of slow down. So we do the same. So again, we had our son-in-law put our grandson on the back and take him for a ride. And even though the view's a little wonky here, you can get an idea and you can hear some wind noise. Our grandson loved it. He thought it was a blast. He wanted to go faster. He really loved it. But you can see how much room's there. He's 4 years old. He's pretty much an average size 4-year-old kid. There's still room for the other pad that's up front. He could then at that point in time move closer to his dad if he wanted to, but he kind of liked sitting in the back. He liked having that bar back there, and he thought it was his own little limousine. Again, this is set up for kids, smaller kids. Our daughter is very small. She is not a big person at all. She's tiny. So what we did was, just for fun, had her climb up in there. And again, she didn't really feel comfortable with it, just because you see her riding around on this other bicycle. She's on the Go one riding around. She just didn't feel comfortable having her husband in control of the bicycle. Again, I want to make note that this is not for adults. Even though she's very tiny, this is not recommended. And she just felt unsafe. But the fact that it could haul them around really easily was, testament to how much you could do with this. I mean, you really have a lot of options. They both have center kickstands, which is really nice. You just pop it up on the center kickstand, which when you load the bike up really makes a difference. You can see here she's riding the Go one, and here he is taking our grandson around. Our grandson loved it. So the links are going to be down in the description for this. Click the links. It'll take you right to this product. This is brand new. And I'm going to tell you, if you're looking for a cargo bike, this is the way to go. This thing is awesome. It's perfect. I haven't had anything that tells me it's not. So thanks for watching.